What's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we've got the review for episode 63 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Now, obviously, last week we didn't get an episode. I know it was such a horrible week. That week just seemed to drag on. What is a Thursday if we can't have a Boruto episode? I don't know, but thankfully we're back to normal now with more Boruto greatness, and that same Boruto greatness delivered again for this week's episode. First thing I want to touch on quickly is the opening, because the opening, if you did notice, actually changed ever so slightly. Now, I don't think it was done on purpose. If it is, then I don't know why, but basically right at the end of the opening when Boruto's using his Rasengan, I think it was, there was like a little just slight frame where a low opacity picture of some anime character's face, and you see her eyes. It looked like a girl or a boy or something. It didn't look like it was from Boruto. It looked more like it was from High School DD or something, but Studio Perry don't do that. I'll put a picture on the screen of it obviously now, but I feel like that might have been a mistake. I don't know how you can mess up the opening, because they've done it once. I don't think they need to do it again. You know, they've done once, just keep putting the same opening. So if it was on purpose, I'm not too sure why. It wasn't subtle. It didn't look very good, but whatever. I think there might have been a slight mistake. If you guys picked up on it, let me know what you think it is. I've got no idea. Anyway, with the opening out of the way, let's move on to more of the episode's contents. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I can talk about this episode a great deal, because, unfortunately, a lot happened. Don't get me wrong, a lot happened. However, a lot of it we've already seen in the movie, so I don't kind of just want to keep rambling on and on and on and on about the movie, because that's essentially what this episode was. It's not a bad thing. They have to include movie bits, and I loved this episode. I thought it was a great job, and it improved on the movie. Basically, we got the whole end of the world Armageddon scenario in this episode that we see in the movie just after Naruto is taken away, and all the villagers are injured, everyone's in pain, everyone's distraught and in chaos. And I personally think they captured that whole vibe of the end of the world Armageddon thing stupendously well. I think a star for that Studio Perry. You could definitely tell. I mean, the shift in tone from, like, if you look at an episode a couple of episodes ago, 1-2 episodes ago, and you compare the whole tone and vibe of all the characters and how everything looks to now, it does a crazy shift. And a crazy shift that you wouldn't have noticed if you just look in a couple of episodes ago. So the whole Armageddon thing has been nailed on the head right there. Congratulations, you did a fantastic job of that, Studio Perry. The next thing that actually nailed on the head was the whole emotional aspect of this episode. Despite me seeing it all already, and it was the same for last week's episode. No, there was an episode last week. It was the same for the last episode. I've seen it all before. I know it's coming. I know what the outcome's going to be. But still, they pull on the heartstrings. It was another real tearjerker of an episode. The whole emotional feelings and rush that Boruto was going through, and all of Boruto's inner struggles, and coming to realise himself what he's kind of become. He's really started to understand the view everybody had on Boruto in this episode. It was a perfect episode. I know I said not a great deal happened and it was just mainly movie stuff, but it was the perfect episode for Boruto's personal character development. A lot of people hated how bratty Boruto was, and the fact that he just despised Naruto, which we all know he didn't, but a lot of people had this image in their head that Boruto's this spoilt little bratty kid that just despises his dad no matter what, and he doesn't realise how lucky he is and all that. And I think today's episode would have changed a lot of people, because now that he's actually lost Naruto, or he thought he'd lost Naruto, he really did come to the whole realisation that, yeah, I understand now, I understand what Naruto was, and you could tell that deep down he was so regretful over so many of his decisions. For example, there was a scene where Sasuke was explaining Momoshiki's ability, and he was saying how he'll absorb jutsu and fire it back with a much more intensive power. And we saw kind of like a little flashback of Momoshiki absorbing Boruto's jutsu from a ninja tool and then firing it back and destroying the whole entire village. And the camera actually cut to Boruto, and you saw him kind of like look down and with this regretful look in his face, because he knows that was his fault. That was his fault that Momoshiki created that incredible jutsu, whatever it is, because Boruto fired all of that, and you could tell he felt so guilty for it all. So like I said, it was all mainly extended scenes from stuff we'd already kind of seen in the movie. However, something that was new was we got to see Boruto and Shikadai interact again for the first time. The first bit was when Boruto was rushing out because of all of his guilty feelings, and he runs straight past Shikadai, and the camera kind of like cuts and it goes in slow motion, and you see Shikadai looking at Boruto. Boruto doesn't even acknowledge Shikadai. He's just in his own zone right now. He runs straight past Shikadai, and you kind of see Shikadai in his head. He doesn't know how to feel, because obviously Boruto's his best friend, but Boruto cheated against him. I got it in the end. He cheated against him. But we also get to see them right at the end of the episode, just before Boruto actually leaves through Sasuke's portal. And they fist bump, and Shikadai saying, listen, because Boruto tries to explain to him that he's sorry and the meaning behind it all, and Shikadai just kind of, Boruto, listen, it doesn't matter right now, there's more important things to be done for you to do. And they kind of just fist bump it out, and he's saying, listen, I'll hear all about it next time. So that's good, because it shows that they still have this bond, which I think we all kind of knew they would do, but it also opens up that they can expand more on their relationship kind of being rebuilt again after this arc's over. Because personally, I'm more on the side of we will get some filler after this arc. I don't think it will be filler essentially to the point where it's just going to be like not offering anything to the story. I just think it's going to be new content, which will be canon, such as, I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed actually, maybe that we'll be getting more of Boruto's punishment after this arc. I also think we'll get to see more of Shikadai and Boruto rebuilding their friendship again. I think that'd make a good episode. So after all of that, we then get to see Boruto on top of the Hokage's office, putting on the headband, which, guys, we saw Sasuke give Boruto his old headband, obviously. Now, I have a couple of questions about this. First of all, that is more or less confirmed that the headband Boruto wears in the very first episode is Sasuke's. If you look at them closely, they are the same headband. Obviously, Boruto's is a bit more kind of worn out, and it's got that vertical slash now, obviously, but that's just going to happen when he's wearing it. But I think the fabric looks the same. Obviously, it's a rogue ninja headband. Whether he's just going to keep this after this arc, I can't remember what he does with it, if I'm honest, afterwards. But just so you guys know, that is, I think, 99.9% confirming the fact that the headband Boruto wears in the first episode is Sasuke's headband, which is going to start all the theories all over again about how he gets it and why he's got it and all of this. But when he's putting it on, obviously we get that tearjerker of a sequence where Boruto is kind of messing with the headband with Hinata looking upon him, and we get to see a outline of young Naruto over the top of Boruto, so you can see the similarities, and that shows Boruto's progression as a character. He's no longer this bratty, spoiled kid, which loads of people thought he is. He's now, despite literally the episode before being disqualified and having his ninja status ripped away from him, now I think this episode is where he can truly call himself a shinobi. This is where he's realised what it means and what it takes to be a shinobi. And this episode, I know a lot of people will complain that, the fighting's gone, which doesn't really matter. We had 2 episodes of the same fighting. A lot of other people will complain, saying it's just stuff from the movie. But without this episode, I can tell you now that Boruto's character development would not be the same. This was a huge episode for his character development. If I have to rate this episode, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. I don't usually rate things, but that's what I would go with. Now, the preview for the next episode, it looks like we're going to get the start of the fight versus Momoshiki Kinshiki. We didn't see Urashiki. We have no idea what's going on with Urashiki. I just want to know what is going on with your boy Urashiki. But I think this final fight will probably take up 2 episodes. My prediction is that this arc will finish around episode 66, 67, something like that. That's my opinion. I think we get a new ending soon, maybe next week. I'm not too sure, but you have that to look forward to. But just remember, this could be our last episode with the blessed ending that we currently have. Such a shame. But guys, thank you for watching this video. Before I finish, I just want to say quickly, shout out to my girlfriend. It's our 2-year anniversary and she bought me this ribbon. I don't know what to call it. My battery's about to die, but shout out to her. Let me know if you like the setup. I'll see you guys in another video, but until then, peace.